Welcome dear students. Let's start the next topics of our chapter Microorganisms, Friends and Foes. In this part we are going to study about the commercial uses of microorganisms. And in this category we'll see what is fermentation and what is their role in fermentation. We'll perform an activity which will show the action of yeast, which is a microbe. Then we'll see what is their role in food industry, like in making of curd and cheese, in making of bread, making of vinegar. They are used as a stabilizer and a thickener, and they also act as a source of food. One of the uses of these microorganisms is fermentation, and this process is used to prepare so many things in the food industry. Now let's see what is fermentation. Fermentation is the breakdown of substances by the activity of fungi and bacteria, and it leads to the production of carbon dioxide and alcohol. So we can write it as that when the bacteria or fungi act on certain food substances, they convert these food substances into alcohol and carbon dioxide gas. Bacteria and fungi. And in this process, mostly yeast is used to break down these food substances into alcohol and carbon dioxide. Now, alcohol is made by the fermentation of sugar using yeast. So, sugar is fermented using yeast to convert it into alcohol. Yeast is used to ferment sugars in grapes to make wine, and sugars in rice and barley, they are fermented to produce beer. You must have eaten and enjoyed idli and dosa. These idli and dosa, they are made by grinding rice and pulses to a fine paste. The mixture is allowed to stand for a few hours. And why this is done? This is done for fermentation. Fermentation occurs naturally due to the bacteria which is present in the mixture. I have told you that these microbes are present all around us. So the bacteria which is present in the mixture, it allows fermentation and you get the delicious idli and dosa to eat. Let us perform some activities to demonstrate the fermentation, the process of fermentation by yeast. In the first activity, we'll need yeast, sugar, water, bottle, balloon, thread, lime water, and glass. We have to take warm water in a bottle, and then to this warm water, we have to add a tablespoon of yeast and 2 tablespoons of sugar to this water, and then mix it well. Then fit a balloon over the mouth of the bottle and tie it well, and observe the setup for half an hour. And after half an hour, what will you see? After some time, you will notice that the balloon is inflating. This is because the yeast breaks down the sugar and releases carbon dioxide gas. As I have told you that due to the process of fermentation, the yeast acts on sugar to convert it into alcohol as well as carbon dioxide. And this carbon dioxide gas enters the balloon and fills it, due to which the balloon gets inflated. Now, if you want to test it, whether this gas which is filled up in this balloon is carbon dioxide or some other gas, we'll do one test. For this, now fit the opening of the balloon over a glass of lime water solution and then shake the glass. What will you notice? You will see that the lime water turns milky, and this proves that the gas is carbon dioxide. Why? Because when carbon dioxide reacts with calcium hydroxide, which is there in the lime water, it produces calcium carbonate precipitate, which turns the lime water milky, and hence it proves that the gas which is released during this fermentation of sugar by yeast is carbon dioxide gas. In activity 2, this is very simple activity and you must have seen it in your kitchen when your mama prepares the dough for making bhatura. To see the action of yeast on white flour dough. Maybe your mama does not use yeast at that time, but at that time she uses curd, and in curd bacteria is present, which also performs the same thing. It also does the fermentation process. So for this activity what we need is white flour, sugar, yeast powder, water, a bowl and a clean wet cloth. Let's do this activity. Take a bowl of white flour, and to this we'll add a teaspoon of sugar and some yeast powder and mix everything with warm water to make a dough. Cover the dough with a clean wet cloth and observe the dough after 2 hours. What will you notice? Will you see any change in the dough? Yes, you will observe that the dough has risen and it has become fluffy also. Why this has been? Why you are watching such type of change in this dough? Because the yeast cells, they have multiplied in the dough and have converted the sugar into carbon dioxide, and since carbon dioxide is a gas, it has made bubbles, and therefore this gas, because of the presence of this gas, the dough has risen as well as it has become fluffy. So from both these activities, it is confirmed that during the process of fermentation, carbon dioxide gas is released, and we have checked also, we have tested this gas by performing another activity to test whether this is carbon dioxide or not, and we have proved that this gas which is released after fermentation is carbon dioxide only. Dear children, do you like curd, yogurt, cheese? Do you know that these things are produced by the action of a bacteria? You know the name of that bacteria? Its name is lactobacillus. These bacteria break down the milk sugar, which is lactose. Lactose is the milk sugar, and they convert this milk sugar to form an acid, which is lactic acid. So lactose is getting converted into lactic acid by the action of a bacteria, which is lactobacillus bacteria. This is responsible for the conversion of milk sugar into lactic acid. Now this lactic acid turns the milk sour, since this is an acid and it turns the milk sour. Lactic acid acts on a protein which is present in the milk, and this protein is casein protein. This is casein protein. It acts on this protein and it helps in the formation of curd. So we can say that the bacteria lactobacillus, it acts on the milk sugar, which is lactose, and converts it into lactic acid, making the curd sour in taste. and this lactic acid acts on the casein protein of the milk, making the curd thick. Now, the making of cheese is similar in some ways as in case of curd. The bacteria convert the lactose found in the milk to lactic acid, the same process, but here an enzyme is added to set the curd. The semi-solid curdled material is then separated from the fluid and is made into cheese. Then fungi and bacteria act on the fresh cheese. They are added there. They act on the fresh cheese and then give it a characteristic smell and flavor. The bread which we eat is prepared with the help of yeast. Again, the same process of fermentation. The ingredients for making bread are flour, water, yeast, milk, and sugar. These ingredients are mixed together to make a dough. Yeast cells multiply rapidly in the dough and they consume the sugar which is present in the dough and produce carbon dioxide gas. The carbon dioxide released is trapped in the dough in the form of gas bubbles. And being lighter, this gas rises, due to which the dough also rises. When this bread is baked, the gas bubbles burst. This causes the carbon dioxide gas to escape, leaving behind the holes of unequal size. And these holes make the bread porous and spongy. Vinegar is formed by the process of fermentation. What happens here is the yeast cells, they break down the sugar which is found in the fruits or in the grains and convert it into alcohol. Then bacteria act on this alcohol and they form or convert it into vinegar. Let's write it in the form of an equation. So from fruits or from the grains, we know in these parts of the plants, the food is stored in the form of starch, and starch is a complex form of sugar. And this sugar undergoes the process of fermentation. And due to fermentation, we have already read that the products of fermentation are alcohol and carbon dioxide gas. So after the fermentation of sugar, alcohol is formed, and on this alcohol the bacteria acts and it forms or converts this alcohol into an acid which is the form of vinegar. This is acetic acid and this is commonly called as vinegar. So in this way vinegar is formed. Algae are used in the preparation of agar, which is a vegetarian gelatin. Sodium compounds obtained from algae keep ice cream smooth and free of crystals. The products from algae are also used as food stabilizers and as a thickener in salad dressings. These microbes also serve as a source of food. Some fungi are used in making certain varieties of cheese, while some are used in the making of soy, which is a sauce used in Chinese food. Button mushroom, Easter mushrooms, they are commonly consumed as food and they are relished in soups and pizza toppings. They have a high content of protein and vitamin B, and they are low in fat and free of cholesterol. But as some fungi are poisonous, so one cannot pick and eat any mushroom. Seaweeds, they have been a staple of the Asian diet for centuries. Seaweeds are a rich source of minerals and all natural vitamins. Spirulina, it is a blue-green alga and it grows on the surface of alkaline lakes. It is a truly remarkable food source with phenomenally high protein content and rich reserves of many vital nutrients, including vitamin B12 also. Protein content in spirulina is higher even than that in fish, meat, and eggs. Then chlorella. It is a single-celled green alga and it is a rich source of minerals and vitamins. So these are the commercial uses of microorganisms. Thank you.